Hello student, I am Vijay Katta. In the last lecture on the computer security, we have studied the basic terminology of the computer network security. So we have studied CIA, enhanced CIA model in the last lecture. Now these are the 6 components of cryptography. Now next from the today we will start with the symmetric key concepts. So basically on the basis of key, cryptography is divided into cryptographic algorithms are divided into 2 parts. First one is called as a symmetric key, that is called as a secret key algorithm. We use a single key here. That same key is used for encryption as well as the decryption. Now if we have more than one key, then such type of algorithms are called as a asymmetric key cryptography. These algorithms are also called as a public key cryptographic algorithms. Now, for symmetric key, DES, Data Encryption Standard, IDEA, AES, these are the some symmetric key techniques. RSA technique, Rabin crypto systems, these are algebral cryptography. These are the some examples of symmetric key techniques. Now, in the symmetric key technique, suppose Alice and Bob want to communicate securely, then Bob has a plain text. It will given to the encryption algorithm. Now, along with this encryption algorithms has 2 input. One is called as a plain text, and second one is a secret key. Now, this secret key is shared between Alice and Bob. Now, this key is shared with the help of some trusted sources or some different techniques. So, after encryption, it will get a ciphertext. Ciphertext is transferred to the Bob via internet. Then at the Bob's end, along the decryption algorithm, along with the same secret key, we will decrypt that one and Bob will receive the plain text. So this is a symmetric key cryptography. So in asymmetric key cryptography, here we have more than 2 keys. Now suppose Alice and Bob's are the communicating party and Alice want to send the data to Bob. Now the important thing is here Bob has a 2 key. One is called as a Bob's public key and another one is called as a Bob's private key. So Bob will send its public key to Alice. It means whenever sender, that is nothing but Alice, want to send the data to Bob securely, then for encryption purpose, Alice will use Bob's public key. In this communication, no key of the Alice we are using only key of the Bob. So for encryption purpose, Alice will use receiver's public key. Then along with the encryption algorithm, for example RSA, the cipher plain text is converted into ciphertext. Then at the receiver end, Bob will use decryption algorithm. Now along with this decryption algorithm, Bob will use its secret key, that is called as a private key. So this key is only known to Bob and Bob's public key is known to all public. Now there are several methods through which Bob can publicly send or define its public key. Now along with this private key, Bob will decrypt one. Now if data is encrypted with public key, then that data will be only decrypted with this private key and the private key is only known to Bob. It means this communication is secured one. So in this pattern, asymmetric key algorithms work. So each participant has a secret key, it is a private. Then each key is not stored, it is published on web. Message, sending message is encrypted with public key, decrypted with the private key. Now, how to develop a symmetric key algorithm? So, symmetric key algorithms are basically implemented, or traditional cipher is implemented with the help of concept called as a substitution and transposition. So substitution, there are two types of substitution technique. One is called as a monoalphabetic and another one is called as a polyalphabetic. So in the substitution technique, again, monoalphabetic, polyalphabetic technique used, and in the transposition one, we have several techniques. And now we will discuss in the, like, one example is a rail fence technique. So the substitution cipher replace one symbol with another symbol. For example, I have to send one plaintext message. Now each occurrence of A is always replaced by occurrence of D. Then this is called as a monoalphabetic substitution. So we replace the by another character. In the classical substitution technique, where letter of the plain text are replaced by letter of some other letters or by some numbers or by some symbols. So uh, first example of substitution cipher is a Caesar cipher. So in the Caesar cipher, Caesar substitute each alphabet, like it replace A by D, means it replace each letter by third letter. So here we have given one example, like meet me after the toga party. This is my plain text message. Now I will replace each alphabet by the third one. So here A is replaced by D. If you will see here, A is replaced by D, then all occurrence of A is replaced by the same character D. Similar pattern is replaced by H. Now suppose I said A is equals to 0, then B is equals to 1, C is equals to 2, and D is equals to 3. And the same pattern if we follow, then E will replace by H. So in this pattern, Caesar used this technique. So this technique is called as a shifting technique. The alphabets or the characters are shifted by some other characters. And Caesar used this technique during the war period. Now this is one example. With the small alphabets, I represent the plain text character. And with the capital letters, I represent the corresponding cipher text. Now, because we are studying Caesar cipher, so its key size is equals to 3. So I will, first thing, I will assign a numerical value from A to Z, that is a plain text message. So for A, I use 0, for B, 1, and similar pattern for Z, it is 25. There are total 26 characters, 0 to 25. Now, to perform the shift operation, we use a concept E of P, that is plain text plus key mod 26, because there are total 26 character here. So P is a plain text number, K is nothing but the key, and we perform the encryption operation. Now for decryption operation, we will take a ciphertext, we will minus the key, mod 26. So all in the mod operation, by performing this operation, we will get the plain text. So it has only 26 character. If no one knows the key and he want to identify the message or he want to read the message, he will simply use the brute force search. Apply brute force technique will be applied here. Now suppose I do not know the key of this communication. For this example, I do not know the key. I only know this is a ciphertext message I received as a hacker, and I want to know the plain text for this one. So as Caesar technique, I do not know the key. I will apply all total 26 key. So A is replaced by B, then A is replaced by C, then A is replaced by D, like this one. And each character is replaced by plus one character, plus two, and like this one. So within a 25 operations, I will get a meaningful message here. So this is that's why Caesar cipher is a very simplest technique. So in the advanced technique, symmetric techniques, we use a complicated method for substitutions. Like take one another different example. The following shows plain text and its corresponding ciphertext. Is this ciphertext is a monoalphabetic? Now we will check the occurrence of the each alphabet. So here we observe that first occurrence of L is replaced by O. Second occurrence of L is replaced by O. It means always same alphabet is replaced by the same another alphabet. It means it is a monoalphabetic technique. Now take some another example. Here we have again a plain text message and corresponding ciphertext. Here L is replaced by first occurrence is replaced by N and second occurrence is replaced by Z. It means this is a polyalphabetic substitution technique. Now this is one example. The key size is given to 15 and you have to encrypt the message hello. So H is replaced by its number plus 15 mod 26, whatever the value we will get that by. So it is a W. E will replace by T. Both occurrence of L is replaced by AA and then O by D. Now next technique is called as a transposition technique. So transposition technique, ciphers are reorders or simply we can permutate. So suppose I have written a text into the 8 by 8 matrix and rather than sending in the same order, I will send, for example, I will send first 8 number column, then 5 number column, then 3 number column, then 2 number column like this one. And this column pattern will be known to the receiver so that he will rearrange that one. So this this is called as the permutation technique. In fact, in the slide also, I have defined this thing. So plain text is reorder. Then at the receiver side, they will rearrange it one and find the plain text there. Now we will start with the first standard technique that is called as a DES algorithm, data encryption standard technique. Now this is a computational technique. Initially it is used for performing the computation in computer model. So initially the key here, the key size, original key size, it is of 64-bit, but we after a certain operation we use only 56-bit key. Then from this 56-bit key, we generate 16 key and each of 48-bit. Now this is a block cipher technique. Block cipher technique means at a time we take a fixed size of block. So it is a 64-bit plain text has been taken at a time and output will be again of 64-bit. So this is we perform initial permutation. Permutation means rearranging of the columns. Then we perform 16 rounds of operation called as a round 1, round 2, round 3, round 16. Now in this 16 round, we perform complex substitution and permutation. We perform complex substitution, permutation and rearrangement. And these operations are performed along with key. It means in the first phase, initial permutation and final permutation, actual key is not used. Now, this is a detailed operation performed in each round. For example, in the round I, suppose this is my data received, suppose this is a round 1. So after permutation, I got a 64-bit here. So I will divide 32-bit, 32-bit. That's a plain text data. Now from this 32-bit, I will send this data to one function called as a Fistel function. This represented by F. Fistel is a scientist and he has developed this function. Now here we perform some operation along with key here. That key size is a 48-bit and 32-bit. So first thing data will be expanded. It will be equivalent to 48-bit. Then we will perform bitwise XOR operation. Then some data will be some bitwise operation, and then we'll send the data for the XOR. So output of this F function is again 32-bit. Then left 32-bit is XORed with this output, and this is considered as a write bits for the next round, while the write bits of the previous round is directly taken as a left side bits. So this operation is performed at the encryption end, and this operation is performed at the decryption side for the particular round. Now, asymmetric key cryptography. So asymmetric key or public key cipher uses two keys. One key is considered as a private key and another key is called as the public key. Now from the asymmetric key point of view, we will discuss the RSA algorithm. Now Diffie-Hellman is a key exchange technique. So in the RSA algorithm, it is a very although the technique is very simple, but the operations we perform, the computation we perform are the complex one, exponentially complex one. That's why this algorithm is used in the internet data exchange. So suppose I'm going to discuss the steps for the RSA algorithm. Now, main important thing is identification of the public key and private key. So suppose I have to generate my public key and private key. So I will take two prime numbers P and Q. It may be typically, it should be a largest one. But for the examination point of view, I suggest choose like 5 and 7. These are the simplest one. But actually, it should be a complex one. Now next, in the next step, we will multiply this thing. So N is equals to P into Q. Now we will calculate value of Z, that is nothing but P minus 1 into Q minus 1. Now in the third step, we will randomly choose a D value. Now during this selection of D, this D should be relatively prime to Z. D should be relatively prime to Z, or called as a co-prime. D and Z are co-prime. That it means their GCD should be equals to 1. So during the exam, you have to choose a value such that their GCD should be equals to 1. So now you have taken one key called as a D. Now next thing, from D, you have to identify the E, which will act as our second key. Now E should be such that E into D should be equals to 1 mod Z. Now this Z value I have taken from this value here. Step number 2. So E into D, it should be equals to 1 mod Z. Sometimes we also call as a E is inversely proportional to D in mod environment. Again, E is inversely proportional to D under a certain mod environment, or D is inversely proportional to E under the mod environment. So E into D is equals to 1 mod Z. In RSA, now E and D are announced to be public, and E and N are announced to be public, and D as a kept as a secret key. So for encryption, C is equals to P power E mod N. P is your plaintext number, and for decryption, plaintext is equals to C power D mod N. So we keep D as a secret one. Due to its exponential complexity, it is very difficult to retrieve the key D, although we know the key E. So this is the complexity of the RSA algorithms. So here I defined. Now this is a polynomial complexity. Ciphertext is equal to P power E mod N. For Bob, because it is an authenticate user, P is equals to C power D mod N. But for the hacker, now EU is working as a hacker. He does not know the value of D. So P is equals to under root in the environment E, C mod N. Now this is exponential complexity. So it is very difficult to break the RSA algorithm. Now take one example of RSA algorithm. So Bob choose 7 and 11 as a P and Q value. He will calculate N, that is nothing but 7 into 11, 77. Now he will calculate the value of Z, that is I use here word F, which is equals to 7 minus 1 and 11 minus 1, or it is equivalent to 6 into 10, that is 60. Now he has choose two key E and D. If he choose E is equals to 30, then we have to calculate the value of D. You cannot directly choose the value of D. So we have to calculate the value of D. So I calculate the value of D with the help of this formula. E into D, it should be 1 mod Z. Then now imagine Alice sent a message 5 to Bob. So Alice will use Bob's public key, and Bob's public key is equals to 13. So C is equals to 5 power 13 mod 77, which is nothing but 26 mod 77, which is nothing but 26. So in this fashion, 26 will be as a ciphertext send. On the receiving end, we will use the D value and decrypt the ciphertext. So this is another example. P is equals to 17 and Q is equals to 11. I have computed N. Now Z, I represent use phi N is equals to P minus 1 and Q minus 1, which is nothing but 160. Now I have to select value of E. So GCD of E with 160 should be 1. So I started searching or computing which value is gives a GCD equals to 1 with 160. So I found that E is equals to 7. So I put here 7, their GCD will be 1. Now I will determine D. So D into E is equals to 1 mod 160. So I will choose D is equals to 23, which will satisfy this condition. Yes, it satisfied the condition. I will send my public key as a public key is equals to 7 into 187, that is E and value of N, and I will keep secret as a my private key, that is nothing but 23 187. So in this pattern RSA algorithm works. Now you have to at least solve 2 or 3 problems with the RSA example. Now this is an encryption technique. So suppose I had to send a message M is equals to 88, then 88 power E, encryption process mod 187 is 11, decryption is equals to 11 mod 23, this 23 is my decryption key, that is a 88. So in this pattern we solve this. Now just this is simply find 11 power 7 mod 13. Now, when we have to calculate the high power values, then how to calculate that one? So the simple technique is we will calculate first 11 square, which is nothing but 121, which is nothing but 121 mod 13, that is nothing but 4 mod 13. Now I will calculate 11 power 4. So rather than again calculating that 11 power 4 is nothing but 11 power 2 into 11 power 2, that is nothing but 4 square. So I will take this value square here. Now that is nothing but 3 mod 13. Now suppose I have to calculate 11 power 8. So rather than 11 into 11 calculating, I will take this value 3 square mod 13. This pattern we can solve the large equation. Now because I have to calculate 11 power 7, that is nothing but 11 into 11 square into 11 power 4. So 11 into 4 into 3, which is nothing but 132 mod 13, and 132 mod 13 is nothing but 2 mod 13. So in this pattern we can solve the large equation also. Now how to calculate the GCD, because RSA algorithm is depend upon the GCD. So this is a technique I have explained here. We have to calculate the GCD of 19701066. So simple technique is first thing we write here small number here 1066. We will start with the 1970 into 1066. Then we will calculate the remainder. So this is nothing but the remainder of the 1970 divided by 1066. Our value is 904, and this value will be kept here. In the next iteration, this value 904 will be as a left part 904 comma. Now this value will be calculated from 1066. We will divide by 904, and whatever the remainder is we received, we will put remainder value here. In the next round, this value will be transferred to the left side. Now for calculation of right side value, we will divide 904 by 162, and we will take a remainder, that is nothing but 94. And in this pattern, we solve this one, and finally we will get GCD 2, 0. So GCD is 2. Now this is one example where for the actual communication we use prime number of 512 bits in the RSA algorithm. So this is a single prime number, largest 512 bit prime number. This is another prime number. Now when we calculate N, that is P into Q, we got 309 digit single number. This is a single number having 309 digits. Then we calculate Z, that is nothing but phi N, which is nothing but P minus 1, Q minus 1. Again, this is a single number. It is of 309 digits. Then E has randomly E has chosen value E 35,535. It's such that it should be relatively prime to phi n, and then we will calculate the inverse value, that is a D. So for if value of E is this, we will get the corresponding D value. This is again a single. Now this is a complexity of the algorithm. Now so this is what do you mean by encryption and decryption. So encryption is a technique where plain text is converted into ciphertext, and decryption is a technique where ciphertext is converted into plain text. And this technique is used to secure the communication. The meaning of secured is confidentiality. So confidentiality is term where only sender and receiver know what exactly message has been transferred. Now, for a number of users, how many keys are needed if we use private and public key technique? So for n users, n into n minus 1 by 2 keys are required in a private key cryptography, and 2n keys are required in a public key cryptography techniques. Now this is the explanation of RSA algorithm. This is a computational technique. Now these are the few types of attack which perform on the RSA, that is a factorization, chosen ciphertext, encryption exponents, decryption exponents, plaintext modulus, and implementation techniques. Now, next term is a firewall. So we will study firewall in the next lecture.